Everyone, Satnam, welcome. So here we are, first live broadcast, 40-day challenge, magic mantra. We're on day 2. Hopefully your first day was superb and great. And if you're just kind of feel like you're maybe stumbling into the first couple days, that's no big deal whatsoever. Within a few days, you're going to really have a handle on this thing and have a good sense of how it works and how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it and all these types of things. Today, we're going to travel deep together, and I'm glad you're here with me. And we have this virtual kind of community, or in this case, some sort of a class, some sort of a group practice that we're engaging in with all types of people from all parts of the world who are all coming together. Many of us live right now, and many of us who will be catching the replay a little later, or perhaps over the weekend. And regardless of whether you're live or you're here on the replay right now, the effects work. They work great. And so one of the predominant, most important reasons we do the live broadcasts is to keep the momentum strong throughout the course of the 40 days. 40-day experience is usually very exciting, or at least somewhat exciting the first couple of days. But then as we travel along and you get to day 17 or 18, and maybe sooner, the excitement, the initial honeymoon period of the 40-day challenge wears off, and the real work begins. And at that point, it becomes really, really important to keep your momentum going. And one of the ways we do that is using these live broadcasts. And the other way we do that is using the class series that gets released. The first class will be released this coming Wednesday. And so that's the Path of Bliss series. So each class will be released by Wednesday of each week. And we'll announce when the live broadcast will be at least a few days ahead of time each week, and we'll give you as much notice as possible on that. And so that's one of the most important reasons. But the other thing that keeps the momentum going and and gives you the best chance of maintaining this, because really what we're trying to do is to cause our mind to desire practice. We want to cause our mind to desire meditation, cause our mind to desire which brings us into the meditation space. We want to cause our mind to desire that which brings our mind into the meditative space. And so one of the things that's very natural and at some point even predictable, it's a law of what will happen. At some point, you will resist your practice. You will resist your meditation practice, or you will be creatively drawn to kind of self-sabotage the practice. And the mind does that in a infinite variety of ways. It's very creative and very tricky and very subtle in how it can do that. And so just to bring awareness to that whenever you're doing something that is going in there to purify the old habits that you and I have, the things that we keep running, the programs that are running in our hard drive that cause us to behave in ways that are not supportive to our happiness. They're not supportive to our vitality. They're not supportive to our clarity. That's the type of thing that the meditation practice is essentially attacking, to use somewhat harsh analogy. Because anytime that happens, at some point, if you can think of these types of habits as not dormant things, those types of thought forms and thought structures, that's what they are. They're thought structures within the subconscious mind that maintain a certain type of behavior. And regardless of our good intentions, we keep running the same program over and over because we haven't created a new program that's powerful enough to overpower the old way of doing things, even though we may know rationally that the old ways of doing things are not supportive to what we want to be, where we want to go, and what we want to experience in our lives. Are you with me? And so, whenever you start to do meditation practice such as this, at first it's very exciting, or at least for me it's very exciting, and for many it's very exciting. Some of you may be nervous. We're sending out a survey today, by the way, and because I'm trying to get, I want to get as much as possible into the mind of as many people as I can, in terms of if you're newer to Kundalini Yoga, or if you can remember what your mind space was like when you first tried out Kundalini Yoga. That's just an aside. So if you see that and you feel led to fill that out, I would love to get some feedback on that. Anyhow, whenever you're doing something that is putting those old thought structures that cause our old, what we call non-supporting habits, or demoting habits. Demoting habits are the habits that take away your energy. Those of you who've done many of these 40-day challenges, you know this, but it's not, the mantra you do not want to chant in this moment is, I know that. Is I know. We're going to get inside of it, and we're going to guess, yes. How can we understand it even deeper? How can we understand it in even a more practical way for ourselves? There's demoting habits and there's promoting habits. Promoting habits make you more of what you really are, make you more of yourself, give you your vitality, give you your clarity, give you life energy. Demoting habits take away your life energy. They maintain old non-supportive habits, and they maintain their stability within your mind, and therefore they're allowed to maintain their programming over your life. And so we have great intentions for ourselves, but we keep doing the same dumb things over and over, regardless of our attention, because those old non-supportive habits are stronger than our potential life energy moving forward to create new promoting, life-supporting habits. So, therefore, when you're doing something like the magic mantra, Ikunkara Sata Guru Parasada Sata Guru Parasada Ikunkara, and you're using your navel, and you're using the tip of your tongue. Tip of the tongue is like the lingam. The analogy the yogis poetically use is like the male sex organ. Roof of the mouth is the yoni, which is the female sex organ. And so if you can think of it like that, in a certain way of you're trying to create a secretion to take place. And so when the tip of the tongue is flicking and hitting the upper palate through the rhythm and the permutation and the combination of the mantra, stimulates some of the 84 meridian points on the upper palate, which triggers your hypothalamus. This frequency of the vibratory power of the mantra, Ik Onkara, Satguru Parasad, Satguru Parasad, Ik Onkar, vibrates your pituitary gland. So the high frequency of the mantra is sending the signal to the psyche to create a more sophisticated way of operating. So essentially what you're doing through 40 days is downloading a new program. And that program you need not understand from the intellectual mind. But this will essentially rewire the way your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions run through the psyche. And instead of being kind of cloaked by the old habitual tendency, which keep on making us a somewhat either or dramatically miserable or mediocrely miserable, or like what many of us suffer from, is low-grade misery. It's not really that miserable, but it's kind of mediocre and it's lackluster. It's low-grade misery. You couldn't get it diagnosed in a clinical setting. But for us yogis, and especially us Kundalini yogis, we are holding the bar very, very high for ourselves, because what our path is all about is caliber, and high excellence. And we're working to cultivate the conditions for ourselves that will allow us to live a life that is high caliber and has high excellence in regards to how we live personally and how we live collectively. So you're going ik onkara sata guru para sada sata guru para sada ik onkar, and you're chanting that every day, even if it's just 7 minutes for 40 straight days. It takes consistency to change a habit. It takes consistency. If you're going to do something that is actually going to be powerful enough to overpower, or at least to begin to overpower, thought patterns and habits that have been running within your system for years upon years upon years upon years upon years, you're going to need something powerful. This practice is powerful. But to do this practice 40 days is supremely powerful in the sense that it will give you enough momentum that you will be able to effectively start to shift the fundamental non-supporting habits that are currently still running in your life. Are you going to completely get rid of them? Of course not. That would not be realistic. Are you going to get rid of all of them? Of course not. That would not be realistic. But what I believe you will do, and what you absolutely could do, is to give much more energy to the type of feelings and life and thoughts and emotional energy and desires that you would like to be experiencing. And you'll take a profound amount of energy away from the old, contracting, low frequency, non supportive habits that have just, they're so sticky, those non supportive habits, that they're hard to get rid of. And so it's not that after this you'll never have any fears anymore, you won't have any worries anymore, you won't feel any depression anymore, you won't have the passive aggressive anger tendencies anymore. Now, of course, you'll still, everyone, as long as you're in a human body, you're still going to have worry. As long as you're a human body, you're going to have the whole gamut of emotions. But the question is, have you created the conditions for yourself and the caliber of mind for yourself that you are able to no longer indulge in those lower frequency emotions? And so that which was worry starts to become more like a prayerfulness. That which was anger, passive aggressive, starts to become more like a luminosity, because the fire, when it's in its low frequency, acts as a negative fire: anger, passive aggressive, envy, jealousy. When wind, which is air and space, is operating its lower frequency or arrhythmic, erratic frequency, it creates overwhelm, it creates fear, and it creates anxiety. And when earth and water mix, they create mud. And when that earth and water is operating in its dense lower frequency, it causes depression, it causes complacency, lethargy. But when it's purified and expresses itself in its subtle higher frequency, it becomes sweetness and it becomes love. And so what we're doing is purifying the dense thought structures that cause us to run non-supportive habits, and allowing ourselves to experience our subtle nature. And when you create the subtle conditions within yourself through the purification practice of the mantra, Ik Onkara Sata Guru Parasada Sata Guru Parasad Ik Onkar, then you'll start to purify. And when you purify the density of the mind, then all you're left is with what you really are, which is subtlety. And the more you experience your own subtlety, the more you experience what you truly are. And that's beyond the intellect, and it's beyond the rationale. It's an experience that we have to go on the meditative adventure, a meditative journey to understand. And that's what, my friends, you and I are doing. And this is where we begin day 2. Okay, so we're going to tune in. We're going to do some energization exercises to get the prana moving in the body. And then we're going to go into the meditation. And we're going to do the meditation today for 22 minutes. So even if you're only doing it 11 minutes a day, today get to do it 22 minutes. And it'll give you so much more good energy and momentum for 11 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever else you do. And if you do 22 minutes sometimes, then it makes your 11 minutes seem that much manageable. Einstein was asked to, now bring your hands up, prayer pose. Einstein was asked to explain the theory of relativity to the layperson. He said, you're sitting on a couch with your new girlfriend or new boyfriend for 1 hour. It only feels, though, like 5 minutes. Time goes by so fast. You're sitting on a hot stove for 5 minutes. Feels like 1 hour. That's the theory of relativity. So you can use that in your meditation practice. If you're going to do a 31-minute meditation, you can absolutely make it feel like a hot stove if you're mentally disruptive in terms of your disposition and your approach to it. And you can also make it feel, or try your best to make it feel like you're sitting on the couch with a lover, and the time will go by very fast. So you can play with that and see how that works for you. But ultimately, that's what we're doing, is developing the type of mental caliber that allows us to intelligently use our minds in those types of ways. So you can choose a happy way of living. It's fine to understand and know a happy way of living, but to genuinely choose a happy way of living takes great mental caliber. And that's what the practice will give you. Hands in the prayer pose. Inhale deep. Exhale. Lift through your chest, drop through the shoulders, tuck through the chin. Meditate the gaze, the third eye. Inhale deep. Exhale. Satguru Namaha, Sri Gurudeve Namaha, Adguru Namaha, Jugadguru Namaha, Satguru Namaha, Sri Gurudeve Namaha, Adguru Namaha, Jugadguru Namaha, Satguru Namaha, Sri Gurudeve Namaha. Satnam. Okay, let's do this, friends. So you're going to have your hands on the shins or ankles. If you're sitting in a chair, feet are flat on the floor. Of course, none of us have shoes or socks on. And spinal flexus, so hands on your ankle shins. You're gonna inhale, lift through the chest, exhale back. Nice strong breath. Meditate the third eye gaze, eyes into the third eye. body with the power of your breathing. The breath is powerful, yet the mind is relaxed. So you're combining, keep up, keep going. You're combining the powerful breath with the relaxed mind. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Hands are on your shoulders. Fingers in front, thumbs in the back, chest is open, chin is slightly in. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. Breath is deep. Another 10 seconds. Continue. Continue. Into the center, your deepest inhale. Lift the gaze, third eye. Lift the rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. Open the chest. Inhale some more. Exhale. Yes, wonderful. Yeah. Remember, the most important part of these exercises are the very last moments where you inhale deep, and at that time, try to just be still and try to be empty. Try not to think of anything. Try to be more like an emptied vessel and put the optic gaze where the root of your nose meets your skull bone and your pituitary point, the third eye. And then lift the root lock, and the rectum, sex organ, and navel comes up and in. The chest is open, and you can press the underside of your tongue against the upper palate of your mouth. Try it. Inhale deep. Exhale. And that's how you circulate the prana. You're stimulating the prana, and then you inhale. Gaze, the third eye, under tongue, root lock, stillness. And when your life force circulates and then is able to move and nurture your higher centers of your psyche, the crown, the pituitary, the throat, and the heart center, that's when the old low-frequency, dense habits lose their strength and the higher ways of living gain their strength. It's very simple. It doesn't require any particular belief system. It doesn't require anybody's religion. It's the human science of love and consciousness. Hands on your knees. And first you're gonna inhale left, exhale right, like shoulder shrugs. Alternate shoulder shrug. Meditative gaze, powerful breathing. Now both shoulders. You're going to inhale up, exhale, release. It can be slower like this, or quicker like either is fine, but every exhale, release the shoulder blades down the back. Meditative gaze. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. Now try this exercise. Same thing, but make sure you're now lifting through your root lock. That's the perineum area, rectum, sex organ. As you do the exercise, you keep your heart lifted, chin slightly in, chest is out, chin is in, and throughout the exercise, you're maintaining a gentle lift of the root lock area, rectum, sex organ, okay? And here we go, same thing. It can be slower or quicker. Every exhale, release the shoulder blades down the back. Lift the gaze. And inhale, squeeze up. Exhale. I was saying last night when I was teaching here in Nevada City, and it's like, I don't understand how people get by without mantra and without prayerfulness. Because as long as you have life, you have uncertainties. But to understand uncertainties, you have to somehow enter into the mysteries of life and to embrace the mysteries of life. And without that ability to connect the mind, the individual, the microcomputer, to the master computer, to connect your individual mind to the infinite mind. Without that ability, there's no release valve. Where do worries go? Where does uncertainty go? It turns into anxiousness or anxiety. But when you're able to skillfully, through your experience, connect your mind to the infinite mind, life becomes blissful. This is why we're doing this. It's not anything but human. Okay, now, index fingers to thumbs, both hands, palms facing up, heart is lifted, chest is out, chin is in. And there'll be a breath of fire, unless ladies, if you're on your moon cycle right now, when we do breath of fire, just do long, deep breath, okay? But otherwise, you inhale deep, and through the nose, equal exhale, inhale, light. Move the energy with the breath of fire. Go. Elevate the gaze, third eye. deeply. Suspend under tongue, upper palate, rectum, sex organ, navel, heart out, chest vulnerable, meditative, the third eye. Exhale. Okay. Have a sip of water. Stretch your legs out wide. Just a couple more. Stretch your legs out wide, yeah? Like a V shape. And you're gonna inhale to the center, turn left, exhale down. Good. Deep breath. You're inhaling up, turn to the left, exhale down. Inhaling up, turn to the right, exhale down. Keep going, yeah? Come on, keep going. Beautiful. Inhale deeply into the center. And then just for a moment, fold forward, down. And relax up. Shake out your legs. Maybe sometime soon when the Life Force Academy headquarters expands more, we'll have like a camera where there'll be like full posture yoga and a live broadcast. But for now, it's torso yoga. And at that point, who knows, I could just be wearing like pajama pants right now, but if we're doing a full picture, I'll have to dress fully. I'm not wearing pajama pants, actually. I think I've mentioned it many times if you've been in the academy for a while, but I want to let everyone know that the Life Force Academy is getting a complete makeover. We're getting very close to the end. I had the opportunity to show some of the academy members recently a little bit of what it's going to look like, and maybe we'll do that soon, is do like a tour here, like in one of these broadcasts of the new Life Force Academy, get your feedback and how it's going to work. So you can see it. It's also going to be a lot faster. I know it's a little slow right now, and we apologize for that. But that's one of the reasons we're just totally redoing it. It's going to be speedy, quick, really beautiful, really easy to navigate. I think you're going to love it. So I want to let everyone know that that is coming pretty darn soon. You know, I believe within the next couple months. Maybe even within this 40-day challenge, but I don't know. All right, here we go. Last one of these. And then we're going to do our meditation. Now what I want you to do is bring your arms, your hands, thumbs up, fingers tucked in, and your arms up to 60 degrees. We're going 3 minutes, okay? And within these 3 minutes, it's very possible that you'll have the urge to go, ugh. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is try not to do that. And because it's within the pressurization of the exercise, by keeping your arms at a 60-degree angle, and by putting your meditative gaze into the third eye, and by moving the prana with the breath, you'll circulate and draw the life force from the lower triangle, rectum, sex organ, navel area, and you'll draw it up into the heart and the throat and the intuitive center, into the spiritual center, at the crown of the head. This is the science of yoga. So, it's only 3 minutes. Don't make it like a hot stove that you're sitting on. Make it like you're sitting with your lover. And whenever you find yourself resisting your practice, if you can bring your mind into the space of how does it feel when I've done a really good practice? How does my mind feel, and the clarity and the blissfulness? And that will help you in those moments. It's like, bring yourself, I want that. Bring your arms up 60 degrees. Close your eyes, look at the third eye, and inhale deep, breath of fire. In 3 minutes, and within these 3 minutes it will work you. But if you can refocus, recommit into the exercise, it will move you through that essential threshold that taps your deeper vitality. The rhythm, breath of fire, continue. Meditate the third eye, focus deep, over halfway there, let's go. Commit, focus, expand. Five seconds, continue. Meditate the third eye. Inhale deep. Bring the thumb tips together so they touch. Open the fingers wide. Inhale some more. Push the under tongue, upper palate, lift the root lock, touch the ceiling with your fingertips. Drop the shoulder blades, touch the ceiling. Exhale. It's called crystallizing the mind. Turning the mind from more opaque to more translucent crystal. So that the rays of the soul, the rays of your infinite self, can shine through your finite vehicle. Crystallize the mind. Okay, here we go. You're going to take your posture, and here is our magic mantra. So again, because we're only on day 2, let's go over the posture one more time. You're going to have your hands, pinky side of the hand together, try to keep no gap in between the pinkies, in the middle of the pinkies. Many people have a little bit of gap. Try to keep it to a minimum. Fingers are together, thumbs are out, and you hold it in front of your heart center as a shallow cup. So the index side of the hand comes about 30 degrees up to make a shallow cup, like you're holding like water. Yeah, it's a very beautiful posture. If you can hold that with a sense of beauty, it will help you. It will help the movement of energy in an upward fashion, because beauty moves in an upward fashion. It uplifts us. So if you feel your posture is beautiful, it's an asset to your meditation. Your eyes are closed and you look towards the palms of your hands through the closed eyes. And that's how it goes. You're going to be using the tip of your tongue. Okay? Here we go. Ik onkar Satguru Parasad, Satguru Parasad. Ik onkar. Inhale.
Ik onkar Satguru Parasad, Satguru Parasad. Ik onkar. 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 Ik onkar Satguru Parasad, Satguru Parasad. Exhale, retain the posture, inhale again, Mulban, focus the gaze. Exhale, and last time inhale, focus the gaze. And exhale and relax and just meditate here for a moment. Let the breathing be natural and meditate.
Satnam. And take your hands to prayer pose. In just a few moments after we close here, I'm going to head over to our Life Force Academy Facebook group, our forum, and I'd love to hear from you. Just like, where are you today? Where are you tuning in from? How's the start going? Just saying hi, but it's a nice way at the end of these that we can connect, not just be going in one direction. We go in both directions. When you're doing this meditation, remember is that often it is the very early part of the meditation is the more difficult, because once it really starts to kick in, you start to get really into it. And so even though it's like, wow, I've only done 5 minutes, I got 15 minutes, 17 minutes to go, but it's not quite like that, because you'll start to go into the meditative space and time changes in that space. And so it can just... So, just one moment at a time. Always just keeping it one moment at a time. And hands are into prayer pose. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Satnam, love to you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll announce the next live broadcast soon. It'll be next week, and then I believe the one after that, Brent will be leading. So keep it going, everyone, and regardless of whether you're live right now or you're on the replay right now, come over to the forum, Life Force Academy group on Facebook, and say hi. I'll be there in just a moment. Satnam.